Welcome back to Hugh Loving Life. I'm Michelle, and I have with me today the Spiritual Laws of Life, Harold Klemp. So I'm really excited to discuss the law of the self. Who knew there was a law of the self? Well, let's find out what it is talking about. So thank you again for being here, liking, subscribing. If you do, I appreciate your support for this channel. So the law of the self. Each must understand and act to solve the mystery of their little self before they can solve the mystery of God. So, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. What is this law? This is Harold Klemp. I have written and spoken about it many times in the past, but it is important for a very good reason. It marks the place where soul begins its journey home to God. Note that. Journey home to God happens once you know yourself. The problem most people have with life is that it beats them up terribly before their short span in it is finally at an end. They seldom have a sense of creating, of freedom, or even of love. So they seldom have a sense of creating, freedom, or love. So those are things we might want to focus on having more of: creation, creating things, having freedom in our lives, and love. Everything is duty. A Chela or student of Eck or Eckankar can have a bolder, more lively tomorrow by far, as can anyone watching this video, but they must be willing to create it for themselves. So you're responsible for your life. No one else will do it for you. No one. You might be waiting and hoping that someone will step up to the plate and give you some significant help, but truly, what he's saying here is no one else can, actually. You can get the help of the Eck Masters, yes, the current living Eck Master, Sri Doug Kunin. You can ask angels, whoever you speak with, Jesus, Mohammed, Brahma, etc. However, you have to actually do something. The Mahanta, the living Eck Master, will show the way and tell them where to locate the key to spiritual freedom. So, if you ask, you shall receive, okay? Knowledge, wisdom. But each must retrieve their own key, for that is the law of the self. You have to actually get your own key yourself. The Seeker in Stranger by the River, a book by Paul Twitchell that you might want to purchase at eckankar.org. You might also be able to find it in other places like Amazon, eBay, or wherever you look for books. But Stranger by the River is a wonderful, beautiful book that describes our sojourn here. In pursuit of truth, he has sought out the very best role model that soul could hope for. So, in Stranger by the River, Paul Twitchell sought out the best uh, role model. At that time, it was Rebazar Tars, an Eck master. In this case, it was the Eck master Rebazar Tars. Who better as a role model than an Eck master who once also made his first halting steps to God consciousness, but who finally reached it? Yes, you don't want to ask people who are not further ahead of you on your journey. And what does Rebazar tell the seeker? You yourself are your own problem, he says. You're your own problem. You must understand and act to solve the mystery of your little self before you can solve the mystery of God. Sri Bazar says, this is the law of self, the law of God. Therefore, I tell you not to take up the seeking of God until the little self within you is conquered and solved. What does little self mean? Well, what comes to mind for me, at least, is the ego. But let's see what he says. Some signs that the little self is a stumbling stone to one's spiritual desire for God include, as Rebazar points out, a greater sense of outrage over the faults of others than at our own. So if you're constantly pointing fingers at other people and not taking accountability for your role in various circumstances, that might be something you might want to look at. Excusing our own weaknesses and shifting our blame to others. Okay, so again, fault finding, not taking accountability for your role in things, not apologizing, people who can't even look within enough to know they need to apologize, that's a sign. And liking gossip also shows that the little self is in control, um, not your higher self. You may ask, well, what am I doing here on earth? That's like a child in school saying, what am I doing here? Earth is a classroom. Its purpose is to help people develop, usually after many lifetimes, a godlike character. Earth is a classroom. We are here in school, and it's not like an easy school situation, you know. It's actually a really difficult one. It's the school of hard knocks where we have to go through whatever we've dished out in the past. Now, that could be 50,000 or 100,000 years ago in one incarnation or plane of existence or another. It doesn't always have to be Earth. And there are infinite amounts of different places that you could live, right? There's different dimensions, there's different planes of existence, heavens, there's all interchangeable words, but also there's, different realities and different planets, etc. So you have been around eternally as a spark of God, holding like the essence of God, created of God, okay? And so we have to learn and grow and mitigate our karma and know who we are and work on being the best person that we can be. I love to watch the show Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon from the 1980s. He's an angel, but I consider him an Eck master when I watch it. And in the show, they call him an angel. And he goes around selflessly helping other people. And he's become a co-worker with God. It's really a wonderful show. And it helps you remain focused on your mission if that is what you wish to do. But mitigating the little self or the ego is important to happen. It has to happen first before really having any kind of God consciousness. So what does the ego look like for you? Where are you finding yourself being egomaniacal, even if it's a small thing? So that's what needs to be focused on to be corrected. And I highly urge you guys to consider looking at eckankar.org because there's a very straight up, easy way to learn how to do all of this. And it starts with just one book, and you are only supposed to read one chapter per month, maybe 10, 15 pages, and contemplate on it, do the spiritual exercises for that month, and it helps you to unfold. You can be in any religion. So I like to share that here because I'm so grateful for the person that I met who introduced me to Eckankar after having been in 5 different religions in this lifetime and still feeling like I was missing something. So that's why I have this channel and share it here. So I hope that it's helpful to you. If so, again, consider asking yourself the question, where am I being egomaniacal? Where am I blaming others and not taking accountability for myself in various ways and situations? And consider buying Stranger by the River, Paul Twitchell. It's beautiful. Talks about the journey home to God through self-awareness and then God consciousness. And eckankar.org. I know I should say ECKANKAR.org. Anyway, and this beautiful book, Spiritual Laws of Life, Harold Klemp. And thanks for liking, subscribing, being a part of this channel. I wish you a beautiful day. Take care. See you in the next video. And the next one will be on dun, 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 the law of soul. Oh, okay. So there's a distinction between the law of self and the law of soul. That's interesting. Have a good one.